I can't parent my 9-year-old. Lila looked me dead in the eye and she said, "Shut the fuck up." And I had to just walk away. Because what else am I meant to do?
It seems as though millennials have really changed how parenting is. We're listening to our kids, we're hearing what they're saying, we're not necessarily just giving them instruction blindly. I'm curious on what you think here. Is this a good thing for society? Is it good for the kids? Is it a little bit tricky because now they have more autonomy as children? Let me know what you think in the comments and check out these videos.
I feel like being a millennial parent is so difficult these days because we are trying so hard to unlearn the toxic our parents taught us, on top of trying to give our kids a new path that we have no outcome to. Like, millennials wasn't raised on the let me hear my kid out, my kid's voice and feelings matter type of way. Now our kids' feelings matter, voice matter, not hitting them. But we don't know what this looks like on the other end. We don't know what the adult version of these gentle kids, gonna look like in 20 years. And it's kind of scary to think about, but we know we have to find a medium, right? We have to. And when you think about it, they was really beating us for mistakes. Like literal spilled milk, slamming the door on accident. We already crying, talking about we're gonna give you something to cry for. They were insane. But as you get older, you try to give them grace because they were literally just following 100-year blueprint or just doing what was done to them. And it finally gets to the millennials, and now we got to try to rewrite. And the scariest part is trying to raise our kids differently than our parents raised us, while simultaneously trying not to turn into them. Because let's be real, every day you look a little bit more like your parents. Every day you look in the mirror, you looking a little bit like, damn. Every day you sounding a little bit more like them. Every day you'll say a phrase and you get on the phone with your auntie or your uncle or something. They be like, "Hey, damn, boy, I thought you was your daddy. You sound just like your daddy." And we just trying to control so many different things right now. Am I the only one that feels like this? I can't be alone.
This is why millennial parents are exhausted. We don't have a village no more. Ain't no going to grandma's house. Ain't no going over auntie's house. Ain't no staying at your cousin's house. Them kids are at home with us, driving us crazy. When I was coming up, I used to go to my grandma's house every weekend. I used to go to my grandma's house every summer. I used to stay with my grandma for weeks, months at a time. It was a time where I lived with my grandma. Went to school from my grandma's house. My grandma registered me for school, literally. She combed my hair, washed my clothes out on her hands if she had to, made meals out of no meals. My mama didn't have to show up to my grandma's house with nothing. My daddy didn't have to provide nothing.
I can't parent my 9-year-old. Don't know if it's because I had her so young, but I'm 29 now and I still can't parent her. She is the most headstrong person I've ever met in my entire life, and she is only 9. If she doesn't want to do something, she's absolutely not doing it. Her and her sister were just fighting outside whilst I was trying to get ready for the day, to take them out for a nice day out in the summer holidays. And I can hear them screaming, fighting, beating each other outside. So I've run downstairs and I'm like, enough. I'm like, separate yourselves from each other because you're obviously not getting along today. My younger one will just cry. Lila looked me dead in the eye and she said, "Shut the fuck up." And I had to just walk away. Because what else am I meant to do? Everything in me wanted to do what my parents would have done. But you can't do it anymore. There's absolutely no... I know people say about boundaries and taking things. She doesn't care. She doesn't care if I take the telly off her. She doesn't have an iPad, so I can't take that off her. She spends her days pottering around the garden or imaginary play because I don't allow iPads. How can I take imaginary play away from her as a boundary? There's nothing I can do. I'll sit her down and explain why that's wrong, why you can't tell mummy to shut that up. And she just goes, "Shut up! Shut up! Don't want to talk about it! Shut up!" There is absolutely no way of getting through to her. And I will sit her down when we've calmed down. When the situation is calm, I will sit her down and I will say, "That was not okay." And she will still say, "Shut up. Shut up."
People aren't even attempting to raise their kids anymore. I don't know when it started, but I think the delivery room is just giving out iPads. I went to the laundromat today because my washer's broken, and this little girl sits down next to me and immediately starts bawling because she wants some of my Airheads Extremes. And I'm like, okay, I'll just give her one. It's not that big of a deal. But then I look at her dad, and he is staring daggers at me like he is angry. And I'm like, okay, if he doesn't want me to give her one, I'm not going to give her one. But she's still just sitting next to me crying her eyes out until eventually her mom comes into the laundromat and just plops down this giant pink iPad right in front of her. The screen was the size of a MacBook with this huge pink case on it. And she plays at max volume. Down by the bay. That whole song with like flashing colors and dancing watermelons and dancing pirate ships. And the kid does calm down. Like the kid relaxes. But 5 minutes later, the mom starts loading up the laundry. And the kid gets off the iPad, walks over and like starts to help her. Starts to like take stuff out of the laundry and try and put it in the wash. And the mom is like not having it. Picks her back up, puts her back down at the table with the iPad, and goes back to loading the laundry. But eventually she sits down next to her kid, and the kid immediately gets off the iPad and starts crawling in her lap, poking her, wandering around the laundromat in front of her, like just trying to be active and do things. And the mom sees that, grabs her again, puts her down in front of the iPad, and like points at the iPad and is like, look, 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 look. Your kid is trying to be a human being. Have fun with them. Play a little game. I don't know. You're waiting for your laundry to be done. You can pay attention to your kid for 25 minutes. I'm trying to think of like a core memory that could be made. Like, oh man, I remember going to the laundromat with mom and dad, and we would play I Spy. We'd watch what was on the TV. We'd play games, blah, blah, blah. And instead it's, oh man, I remember when I used to go to the laundromat and stare at an iPad for 3 hours.
My son is 8 years old, but I don't serve him food when the food is cooked. When the food is cooked, I call my son and he must come and collect his food himself, and he must tidy up after himself as well. Now, if my son comes to me and he says, Mummy, I'm hungry, depending on how long ago he ate his food, I would say, okay then, go and help yourself to food. Because one thing I don't tolerate in the household is if my son is hungry and he's already eaten, say like within the last half an hour to an hour, I'm not getting up and making him his food. There's always food already cooked in the fridge. So there's dinner, there's food in the fridge, there's leftovers. There will be sausages, there will be food to make sandwiches, or you can make himself cereal. I'm not getting up when he says he's hungry, jumping up to make him food. Why? Because one thing I'm not about to do is raise an entitled little boy or an entitled man. I'm not about to raise a boy that doesn't know how to be in the kitchen. I'm not going to raise a useless human being. So that goes for my daughter as well as my son. But in particular, when it comes to my son. Why? Because first of all, he needs to know how to do things primarily for himself, but for his future girlfriend, wife, and children.
And some moms who have survived 2 under 2 in the toddler stage, please chime in, because when does it get easier? I feel like I am drowning all the time. It's so hard. Everything feels like an emergency all the time. Everyone needs me at the same time, all the time. I have a 2 and a 3-year-old. They're both boys, and I know people don't like the stereotype of like little boys versus little girls, but my little boys are feral, okay? They have so much energy and they're so independent right now. And the problem is that they never want to be in the same place at once, trying to go off in different directions. And it's just me. So like, I am just stressed all the time, trying to like get them to listen to me. It's so hard. And they're in daycare during the day. So like, this is just mornings, evenings, and weekends. But like, I'm just sitting for half an hour now, like dissociating before I get into my workday, because I just feel so spent. I feel so just like mentally and emotionally drained right now from the morning. Anyways.
There's been a ton of conversation on gentle parenting, on permissive parenting, and all of these terms. But really, what is the reality of the situation? Are kids getting enough of a childhood? Are kids getting enough discipline? Are kids getting enough autonomy? Is it even something that we should be discussing? I'm curious on what you think, because I know with my kids personally, yes, we have certain conversations, but there are certain lines that are drawn. And when it comes to certain things like learning, there will always be learning in the household without a question. Yes, there's going to be some model of discipline that has to be administered to the kids in order for them to learn. That's how the world works essentially. But is there a line? Is there something that goes too far when it comes to parenting? But where is the line for this? Or should we actually be implementing more discipline for these kids? Curious on your thoughts, how that looks for you. And please leave a comment below, and I'll see you in the next video.